The frozen stranger snowstorm. Cold, endless white. Sharp winds howled like wolves. The ground was nothing but ice and rock. The humans' boots crunched in the snow. Their name was Commander Jack Weller, and his ship had crashed just hours ago. The wreck still burned behind him, smoke rising into the sky. The emergency signal was dead. No answer from Earth. No backup. No one. Jack pulled his coat tighter and looked at the scanner in his hand. Temperature dropping fast. Oxygen's fine. But shelter's needed, he muttered. His voice was rough, tired. He hadn't slept in over 36 hours. Then something beeped. A faint signal. Life? Jack stopped walking. The scanner blinked a weak life form, about 20 meters east. What the hell? He ran. The snow got deeper. Wind stronger, his fingers numb. But the signal was getting closer. Then he saw it. A small shape, curled up behind a rock. Almost hidden by snow. He dropped to his knees and brushed the snow off. A child. But not human. Tiny. Thin arms, blue skin, glowing faintly. Big black eyes closed. No clothes, just thin fabric torn around her shoulders. Her lips were turning purple. Skin cold like ice. God, you're freezing. He didn't know if she could hear him. Her chest barely moved. She was dying. He looked around. Nothing but snow and death. No time, he said to himself. He pulled off his coat, wrapped her in it, and picked her up gently. She was weightless like a doll. He pressed her against his chest. Stay with me, he whispered. Don't die on me. Jack reached the broken escape pod an hour later. His legs shook. He was freezing too, but the girl in his arms was worse. He laid her on the seat, turned on the emergency heater. Weak sparks. It barely worked. He lit a small fire with wires and broken panels. Crude, but it helped. She was still unconscious. He looked at her again. She had strange lines on her skin glowing softly, like tiny tattoos but alive. Her breathing was slow, shallow. He touched her wrist. Still a pulse. Jack sat beside her. Watching, waiting. He spoke, not sure why. Who are you, little one? What are you doing on this frozen hell? She moved, just a twitch. Then her eyes opened. Big, black, alien, but not empty. Scared. She gasped. Tried to sit up. Jack raised his hands. Easy, it's okay. I'm not gonna hurt you. She stared at him. Blinked, then looked around. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. Then softly she whispered something. Jack leaned closer. What did you say? Warm. His heart jumped. She could speak? Yeah, I'm trying. Stay near the heat. She looked down at the fire, then up at him. You, human? Jack nodded. Yeah, human. Name's Jack. She looked confused. Yeah, CK. He smiled a little. Close enough. She looked at her hands, then hugged herself. Her small body still shook. Cold, she whispered. He leaned forward, wrapped another thermal blanket around her. She didn't resist. Then something strange happened. She leaned toward him, touched his hand, and smiled. A tiny, weak smile, like hope. Jack blinked. That smile hit harder than any bullet ever could. You're gonna be okay, he said, mostly to himself. I'll get us out of here. Promise. She closed her eyes again, breathing steadier now. Then suddenly the scanner beeped again. Jack. Look. Another signal. Not life form this time. Movement. Fast. Multiple directions. He frowned. That's not good. He picked up his emergency pistol. Only 3 charges left. The girl stirred. She looked at the scanner. Then at him. Her voice cracked. Just one word. Run. Not so alien. The wind howled outside like a wild beast searching for prey. Inside the half-burnt escape pod, it was only slightly warmer. The tiny, alien girl still wrapped in Jack's coat breathed slow and shallow. Her skin had gone from icy blue to a faint violet, still glowing slightly under the dim emergency lights. Jack sat beside her, holding a hot wire coil close to her feet to keep the heat up. The fire had died 2 hours ago. Fuel was gone. Food, 1 ration bar. Water, snow, barely melted. Weapon, a single pulse pistol. Backup, not a chance. And now, the scanner was going crazy. Blips. Movement. Multiple. Fast. Damn it, Jack muttered. He looked outside through the cracked window. Nothing but fog and snow. But something was out there. The girl opened her eyes again. Slowly, carefully. Her pupils dilated, glowing faintly, like starlight caught in glass. She sat up with effort, her hand pressing against the side of the pod for balance. Jack looked over. "You okay?" She didn't answer. She just stared at the scanner. Her lips moved without sound. "What is it?" he asked. She looked at him, finally spoke, voice still shaking. "Hunters." Jack's blood turned cold. "You mean animals?" She shook her head. "No, not animals." Then she said something in her own language, soft, strange, musical. But it was the way she said it that made the hair rise on Jack's neck, like someone remembering a nightmare. "They took my people," she whispered. "They collect what?" She looked up at him. "Us." Outside, the blips were getting closer. Jack checked the scanner again. 4, maybe 5 creatures, moving in a circle. Closing in. He stood and sealed the pod door as best he could, shoving metal panels and broken seats in front of it. "Not much, but better than nothing. I need to know what we're dealing with," he said. "Do they track by sound, heat, smell?" She paused. "Yes," Jack stared. "All of them?" She nodded. Double quoto. "Oh, great." "Wonderful," Jack muttered. "Basically, we're a snack buffet." The girl tilted her head, confused. "Buffet?" Jack gave a weak smile. "Never mind." She moved toward him suddenly, tugging at his hand. Her fingers were still cold, but steadier now. She pointed at the scanner, then at her glowing tattoos. "What are those?" he asked. She hesitated, then pulled back her sleeve. The glowing lines began to pulse soft blue, then white, then red, like a signal. They changed patterns with her breathing. "Language," she said. "Old kind, from before." "Before what?" "Before the fire ships came." Jack felt a chill run down his spine, and not from the cold. "Fire ships? Sounds like war." Or worse. She held her wrist near the scanner. The device glitched. Then the dots disappeared. Jack stared. "Wait, what did you just do?" She looked confused again. "Hide, my marks." Confused their eyes. "You mean you jammed the scanner?" She nodded. Jack sat down slowly. "You're full of surprises, kid." She gave him a small smile again. Still weak, but stronger than before. Dash bang. The pod shook. Something had landed on the roof. Another bang. Then claws scraping metal. Jack stood fast, gun in hand. The girl's eyes widened. She pointed upward. "They found us." "No kidding," Jack muttered. He held the pistol up. A dim green light glowed on its side. 3 shots left. Crack. A piece of the roof caved in. Snow and metal rained down. Jack fired once. BZT. A flash of green energy lit up the pod. A dark shape retreated with a screech. The girl clutched her ears. "Too loud." "They're not scared of sound," Jack growled. "But they didn't like that shot." He looked at her. "Can your marks do anything else? Anything helpful right about now?" She looked afraid. "I don't know how to use them well." "Time to learn fast." She closed her eyes, whispered again in her strange tongue. The markings on her skin began to glow brighter, then suddenly projected an image onto the pod wall. Jack's eyes widened. It was a map. Not just of the area, but of the entire region. Mountains, tunnels, old alien structures buried in the snow. And one blinking red dot far away. Labeled in her language. He pointed. "What's that?" "Safe," she said. "My home. Before." Another bang. Shook the pod. Jack didn't wait. He grabbed his coat. shoved rations and tools into a broken bag, then lifted the girl onto his back. "Hold on tight." She wrapped her arms around his neck. He kicked open the pod door and ran into the storm. Snow stung his face. The wind was even stronger now. Shapes moved in the fog behind them. Tall, thin, fast. Jack ran toward the mountains. His legs burned, his chest hurt. But he didn't stop. The girl whispered something again. Jack turned his head. "What?" She pointed to a rock ahead. "There's a tunnel, underneath." Jack slid down behind the rock, found a hidden crack in the ground, barely big enough. He pushed her in first, then followed, heart pounding. Darkness swallowed them whole. Outside, the hunters shrieked. But they ran past, not seeing them. Silence. Jack sat there in the dark, breathing hard. The girl reached over and touched his hand again. "Thank you," she said softly. Jack didn't answer. He just looked ahead into the black tunnel leading to who knows where, and tightened his grip on the pistol. "We're not safe yet, little one," he whispered, "but we're not dead. Not yet." Cold isn't the worst enemy. The tunnel was dark. Cold, silent. Commander Jack Weller crawled through the narrow space, dragging a ripped emergency bag behind him. The little alien girl, curled up on his back like a sleeping koala, whispered soft directions as they moved deeper underground. "Left, then down. Careful. Rocks." Her voice was steadier now. Stronger, but still soft, like a candle in a storm. Jack's flashlight flickered weakly. Its battery was dying. Everything was dying, his equipment, his body, his hope. But she was alive. And that mattered. Suddenly, a loud crunching sound. Jack froze. "What was that?" he whispered. The girl stiffened. "Something is above." He turned off the light. Silence. Then again, crunch, click, like claws scraping stone. Not the wind. Not the storm. Something was following them. They crawled for another 20 minutes in darkness, following the tunnel downward. The air got warmer, damp. Jack's hand touched mossy walls, green, glowing slightly. The girl whispered, "Old place. Grows light. Bioluminescence," Jack muttered. "Huh, useful." As the tunnel widened, they entered a small cavern lit by moss and glowing water. Steam floated upward from cracks in the rock. It smelled earthy, alive. She slid off Jack's back, kneeling beside the water. Her hand touched it, and her tattoos pulsed in rhythm with the light. "This place remembers us." Jack raised an eyebrow. "Wait, you've been here before?" She nodded slowly. "My people. Long ago. Before the cold came." He sat down, stretched his legs with a groan. "You're full of surprises, you know that?" She smiled. This time, a little wider. Jack tossed her the ration bar. "Eat, slowly." She stared at the wrapper, sniffed it, then bit it like it might explode. Her face wrinkled. "Salty." Jack laughed. "Get used to it. That's our version of gourmet." Then the ground shook. Both of them looked up. A distant growl echoed through the tunnel. Low, deep, too deep to be human. Too heavy to be wind. The girl stood quickly. "It's awake." "What is?" "The hollow beast." Jack blinked. "You're making that up." She shook her head. "It sleeps in warm places, smells fear. Hears blood." "Oh, lovely," Jack groaned. "Why not throw in laser eyes and rocket feet while we're at it?" The growl got louder. Joking time was over. They ran, through wet tunnels, past glowing vines and sharp crystal formations. Jack's legs screamed with every step, but the sound behind them, thud. Thud. Thud was getting closer. Then, from the shadows, a roar. The tunnel shook. Debris fell. A large shape crashed through the back wall, massive and fast. A long neck, 6 eyes, claws like spears. Its body shimmered like liquid metal, adapting to the cave walls. The girl screamed. Jack turned, raised the pistol. BZZT. Blast of green light. Hit the creature's side. It barely flinched. "Of course," Jack muttered. "Why would anything be easy today?" The beast charged. Jack grabbed the girl and dove into a narrow crevice. The monster crashed past them, smashing into rock, roaring in rage. Its body glowed with pulses of red energy. They kept crawling. Left, then down again. More tunnels. More darkness. They finally found a sealed stone door, ancient, covered in strange symbols. "It won't open," Jack said, already reaching for explosives. The girl stepped forward. "No. Let me." She placed both hands on the door. Her tattoos glowed bright blue, then gold, then white. The door responded, symbols lighting up, shifting, unlocking. With a deep rumble, it slid open. Jack stared. "Okay, you're officially magic." She didn't smile this time. "This is where they took us," she whispered. "This is where they broke the world." Inside was an ancient chamber. Dead tech hummed on the wall screens, alien cables, strange chairs. In the center, a giant sphere, hovering slightly above the ground. Glowing red. Jack approached it slowly. "What is this place?" She walked toward the sphere. It was for learning, sharing memories. Now it listens. To what? She touched the sphere. Immediately, the room lit up with a flood of images. Memories. Her people, peaceful, glowing, floating through the sky. Then the fire ships came, metal monsters. Beams of light, chains, screams. Jack saw cages, slaves, machines draining energy from bodies. Then humans, Earth soldiers, standing between the alien invaders and the survivors. Fighting, dying, saving some, losing many. The images faded. Jack stood still, silent. "You've seen humans before," he said. She nodded. "Long ago. Your kind helped mine, but only few. You came too late." Jack clenched his fists. "I'm not too late this time." She looked at him. "Why?" He knelt down, looked her in the eyes. "Because you're still alive. And because I can still fight." Then the sphere blinked. Red turned green. The girl gasped. "It has found hope again." Before Jack could ask what that meant, a sound behind them. Not the beast. Footsteps. Metallic. Controlled. Military. Jack turned fast. Gun up. A group of tall, armored figures entered. Black suits, green visors. Not the collectors. But not Earth soldiers either. The girl whispered, terrified. "They come from the sky vault. Who the hell are these guys?" Jack muttered. One of the figures stepped forward. His voice echoed through a speaker. "Commander Weller." "Step away from the girl." Jack narrowed his eyes. "You know me?" "Yes, and we need the child." "Not happening. She is carrying something dangerous. Something ancient. She's a child." "No, she is a key." The sphere behind them pulsed faster, glowing brighter. The girl grabbed Jack's hand. The floor beneath them began to hum. "Don't let them take me," she whispered. Jack didn't hesitate. He raised his weapon and said, "Over my dead body. Run like the stars are watching." The red light from the floating memory sphere pulsed like a heartbeat. Fast, bright, urgent. Commander Jack Weller stood between the armored strangers and the girl, pistol raised. His hand was steady, but his mind raced. 5 of them. Black armor, green visors. Laser rifles, military grade. Smooth. Cold. Not exactly welcoming. The lead figure stepped closer. "Weller, you don't understand what you're protecting." Jack's jaw clenched. "She's a child. That's all I need to understand." "She's not just a child," the voice replied. "She's a weapon. A key to an ancient energy system. Something her people were not meant to control." The girl moved behind Jack. Her small fingers gripped his arm tightly. "I don't want to be a weapon," she whispered. "She doesn't even know how to use it," Jack snapped. "That's the problem," the voice replied. "And when it awakens, we all burn." The memory sphere began to glow brighter white light now, pure and blinding. It floated upward, humming louder. Jack's scanner buzzed to life. The sphere was generating power. Massive amounts. Too much. Then it happened. The girl screamed. Her tattoos lit up like stars. Blue, then gold, then white hot. The strangers raised their weapons. Get down! Too late. A shockwave blasted through the chamber, pure energy. It shattered ancient consoles, cracked stone walls, and sent everyone flying. Jack landed hard on his side, his gun sliding across the floor. Smoke, sparks, screams. He groaned, pushing himself up, blinking through the haze. Where was she? He turned and saw her, standing in the middle of the room, her feet hovering slightly off the ground. Light flowed from her body in soft waves. Her eyes glowed. Jack stared in awe. Kid! She looked back at him. Tears in her eyes. I didn't mean to. The ground shook. Something was waking up beneath them. One of the armored figures pulled off his helmet, finally revealing a face. Human. A scar across his cheek, sharp eyes. Angry, but not cruel. I told HQ this wasn't going to work, he muttered. We should have waited. He looked at Jack. She activated the vault core. This whole place is going to collapse. Jack picked up his gun. Then we run, together. The man paused, looked at the others, then back at Jack. She trusts you, he said. That's rare. Jack helped the girl down. She was shaking, exhausted. What's happening to me? She whispered. I think, Jack said, lifting her gently, you're becoming yourself. They ran through collapsing tunnels. Behind them, the vault core cracked open, revealing glowing machines, ancient systems built into the mountain. The energy was unstable now, leaking like broken lightning. And below it all, something was moving. Something massive. The girl looked back, her face pale. The Hollow One. It's not sleeping anymore. Jack didn't ask. He just ran faster. They reached an old transport rail, half broken, half buried. The black armored man, his name was Raynor, Jack learned, activated a small hovering sled. Just enough for 3. Jack and the girl jumped on. Raynor took the controls. Where are we going? Jack shouted. There's an outpost in the ice caves, Raynor replied. Abandoned, but it has a signal tower. We can call for evac if your girl doesn't bring down the mountain first. The girl leaned against Jack's chest, exhausted. I didn't want to hurt anyone. You didn't, Jack said. You saved us. She looked up. Then why is everyone afraid of me? Jack looked over at Raynor. He didn't have an answer either. Behind them, something exploded. A massive tentacle burst from the cracked cavern wall, covered in scales and glowing with red veins. The Hollow One had arrived. It moved like a storm, a nightmare. Alive but not truly living, Raynor cursed. It's feeding off the vault's power. She woke it up. Yeah, Jack shouted back. But she also gave us a head start. Now go. The sled moved faster, zipping along the rail as ice cracked around them. Avalanche rumbled above. One wrong turn, and they'd be crushed or swallowed whole. Up ahead, a broken section of track. Jump it, Jack shouted. I'm always nuts. Just do it. Raynor boosted the sled. The small craft leapt over the broken gap, sparks flying. Jack held the girl tight. She screamed, but they landed hard and kept moving. Behind them, the Hollow One shrieked. The sound echoed in Jack's bones. What even is that thing? He shouted. The first machine, Raynor yelled. The one that taught their kind to steal energy from stars. It was sealed away after the last war. Forgotten. Guess someone remembered. Jack growled. They reached the outpost just before the second quake hit. The signal tower was frozen, half buried in snow. But it was there. Jack kicked open the door, carrying the girl inside. Raynor began activating systems, typing codes into a dusty console. You think someone will hear us? Jack asked. They'll hear her, Raynor said. We've been scanning her signal for decades. It's finally loud enough to respond. The girl sat down beside the transmitter. Her eyes were dull now. Her glow was fading. Am I broken? She asked softly. Jack knelt beside her. No, he said. You're just tired. You've carried too much for too long. She looked at him. Will more people come? Good ones? Maybe, Jack said. And if they don't, we'll make them come. The transmitter blinked, signal locked. A voice crackled through. Unidentified distress state coordinates and threat level. Jack grabbed the mic. Coordinates transmitted. Threat level? Let's call it apocalyptic. Pause. Rescue in 3 hours. Stay alive. The signal cut. Jack exhaled. He looked at the girl. We've got a ride coming. She smiled faintly. I like your planet's words. Jack raised a brow. Which ones? She leaned against him, eyes closing. Hope. Asterisk trust is warmer than. Fire asterisk 3 hours. That's what the rescue team said. 3 hours until a ship from orbit touched down. Until anyone took the weight off Jack Weller's shoulders. He didn't believe it. Not really. The outpost was too quiet. Too cold. Too still. The hollow beast had stopped chasing them, but that didn't mean it was gone. That meant it was thinking. The girl Lyra. She had whispered her name as she fell asleep in his arms. Was it her real name, a memory? Or something the Corps gave her? He didn't ask. It fit her small, bright, and too far from home. Jack had wrapped her in blankets. She now lay on a cot in the corner, her body finally at rest. Her glow had dimmed, but he could still see it, pulsing gently beneath her skin. Like embers, not gone. Just waiting. Across the room, Raynor, the soldier from the Black Ops crew, was working at the console. Watching, waiting, pretending not to be hiding something. Jack knew that type too well. He walked over slow. Tell me, Jack said. Why? Are you really here? Raynor didn't look up. Told you. Same reason as you, survival. Jack stepped closer. No, you knew this planet. You knew about Lyra. You even knew the damn Vault Corps. You don't send random grunts to babysit alien nuclear children. So, why you? Raynor sighed. Looked up. You want the truth? He said. All right. He reached into his suit, pulled out a small data stick, and tossed it on the table. Classified logs. Project Helix. Read it. Jack inserted the stick. The screen blinked. Project Helix subject. Starburn anomaly. Type Zeta status. Escaped containment. Priority. Level Omega notes. Capable of activating dormant planetary cores. Threat rating. Extreme. Jack's stomach sank. She's not a child to you, he said. She's a bomb. She's both, Raynor said, voice flat. We didn't create her, but someone did, a long time ago. The vault wasn't just a prison, it was a test site. Jack shook his head. No, she's not dangerous unless she's scared or hurt. She didn't attack, she reacted. That's how weapons start, Weller. They react, then cities vanish. Lyra stirred. They turned quickly. She sat up, her hair a glowing halo in the dim light. You were watching me, she said, eyes locked on Raynor. He didn't deny it. I was. She looked at Jack. Did you know? Jack hesitated. Then he walked toward her and kneeled. I didn't know, but I should have guessed. I've seen the look before. What look? He smiled sadly. The look soldiers have when they're guarding something they're afraid of. She looked down, silent. Then, I don't want to be a weapon, she said. I want to go home. Jack paused. Where is home? She pointed upward. Not on this world. Another planet? No, she whispered. Another layer. Raynor raised an eyebrow. Excuse me? Lyra stood a little shaky, but stronger than before. There's a place between stars. Between thoughts. My people lived there once. Until we were pulled into your wars, your machines. They tore open the sky and dragged us down. Jack glanced at Raynor. She's talking about the fold, Raynor muttered. Dimensional tech, lost centuries ago, Lyra nodded. I remember falling. I remember fire. I remember being alone. Suddenly a crackling sound from the radio. Jack turned fast. That the rescue? Raynor ran over, adjusted the frequency. This is Sparrow 1, inbound, landing coordinates received. Atmospheric interference heavy. Landing delayed by 40 minutes. Hold position, Jack sighed. Of course. But Lyra's eyes were locked on the ceiling. No, she said. They're not alone, Jack frowned. What do you mean? I feel them, outside, watching. Then the base lights flickered. Raynor grabbed his gun. We're not alone. Jack rushed to the outer monitor screen. Outside shadows moved across the snow. Not the hollow beast. Smaller. Faster. Collectors. The ones who took Lyra's people. They'd returned. Alarms screamed as the base shook. Explosions outside, sharp, precise. The enemy wasn't knocking. They were coming in. Raynor barked orders. Seal the west door. Lock down the central chamber. Get her out of sight. Jack turned to Lyra. Go. Hide in the generator room. I'll come find you. No, she said. If they take me, they'll use me. Again. Jack looked into her eyes, still scared, but determined. I won't let them. She reached out and touched his chest. I believe you. Then she ran. Gunfire. Smoke. The collectors breached the base in waves, part machine, part creature. They moved like liquid shadows, phasing in and out of walls. Jack fired shot after shot, covering Raynor as they fell back. Jack shouted, This is your mess. Got any backup plans? Raynor ducked behind a control panel. Yeah, one. He pulled out a strange device. Metallic, glowing. What's that? Stasis collar, Raynor said. If she loses control, I shut her down. Jack stared. You brought that for a child? Raynor didn't blink. I brought it for everyone else. Jack's eyes went cold. Touch her with that, and I will end you. A wall collapsed. Jack was thrown back, ears ringing. Through the smoke, a tall collector floated in its body, a mess of gears and organic muscle. Its eyes red and hateful. It pointed at Jack. She is ours. The key must return. A voice boomed from the ceiling. Lyra's voice. No. She walked into the room, glowing brighter than ever before. She is not your key, Jack said, pulling himself up. She is her own damn lock. The collector screeched. Lyra raised her hands. Her tattoos burned gold. The room filled with light. Everything stopped. Collectors froze mid-strike. Time stuttered. And then they shattered like glass under pressure. Gone. Raynor stared. She just folded a dimensional field without tech. Jack smiled. Yeah, that's Lyra. She collapsed into his arms. Outside, the storm had passed. And up above, the rescue ship broke through the clouds. A fight for the small and the brave. 10 minutes. That's how long until the rescue ship touched down. Commander Jack Weller didn't think they had 10 minutes. Not with Lyra unconscious. The base falling apart, and something worse than collectors now approaching. He sat beside her, brushing frost off her glowing skin. You held back a horde of death machines, he whispered, half proud, half scared. But I still don't know what you are. She didn't reply. Not yet. Across the room, Raynor stood by the signal controls, holding a gun and something else. The stasis collar. Jack had warned him once. That should have been enough. Don't do it, Jack said. She just saved our asses. Raynor didn't look up. She's unstable. She's a kid. She's a cosmic-level bomb in a 12-year-old's body, Weller. You think she can control that power next time? What if she folds the ship coming to save us? What if she folds Earth? Jack stood. You want to put that collar on her. You'll go through me. Raynor's eyes narrowed. You're a soldier, Jack. You know what happens when emotion gets in the way of protocol. I used to follow protocol, Jack said. Then I saw what it destroyed. Boomed out the ground, shook. Not a quake. A ship. Jack ran to the outer monitor. His heart dropped. It wasn't the rescue ship. It was collector tech. Bigger, armored, blood-red thrusters. The last wave. The prime harvester. Looks like they brought the big one. Raynor muttered. Outside, the collector ship opened like a blooming metal flower. Inside were hundreds of pods, hundreds of soldiers, weapons made of light and shadow. A voice echoed into the base. Surrender the starburn, or be harvested. Lyra stirred. She sat up slowly, her eyes glowing soft silver. I know that voice, she whispered. It was the one in the dark. Jack knelt beside her. You good to move? She nodded weakly. Not strong enough to fight again, but I can run. Then we run, Jack said. Together. But then from the clouds, another ship entered. Smaller, sleek, black with white wings. The rescue ship. Jack's heart jumped. It's them. It's Sparrow One. The collector voice hissed. Leave now, or we strike down both ships. Raynor turned. They'll destroy the rescue. We can't let that happen. Jack looked at Lyra. Then we distract them. Raynor hesitated. Then handed Jack a second pulse rifle. We hold the line? Jack grinned. Like soldiers. They stepped outside into the frozen wind. The collector army was already advancing. Their leader, a tall figure in crimson armor, half organic, half machine, and clearly older than all of them. It raised its blade. Return the starborn. She was not made to feel. She was made to open the gate. Lyra stepped beside Jack. I choose not to open it, she said. I choose me. The collector leader tilted its head. Then you are broken. No, she whispered. I'm finally whole. It roared and the battle began. Blaster fire filled the air. Snow exploded in bursts of color. Jack and Raynor ducked behind wreckage, taking down wave after wave. They moved like a team, now fluid, sharp, deadly. Lyra ran for the ridge, dodging blasts. Her tattoos lit up again, glowing brighter as her fear grew, but she kept it together. For now, Jack yelled, Keep moving! By the rescue team time! But then Raynor was hit hard. He fell behind a crate, bleeding, coughing. Jack ran over. You all right? Raynor shoved a small device into Jack's hand. EMP grenade, he gasped. Takes down their shields, but you have to get close. Jack looked at the leader, still standing tall, shielded, surrounded. Suicide mission. So be it. I'll do it, Jack said. Raynor grabbed his wrist. You get her home. Then he stood, fired into the sky, drawing all the fire, and shouted, Come get me, freaks. He ran straight into the horde. Jack watched him go, jaw clenched. Raynor didn't make it far, but he made it far enough. The explosion was massive and was met by Sparrow One, dropping out of the sky like a hammer from the stars. Boom. The collector ship exploded behind it. All was quiet. For now. Inside the rescue ship, medics worked quickly. Lyra was safe, resting in a pod. Jack sat beside her, watching her breathe. The pilot walked over. We're taking her to Earth Command. They'll want answers. Jack shook his head. They'll get them, but only if she says yes. She's dangerous. She's also brave. She chose to fight. She chose to live. And what about you? Jack leaned back, exhausted. Me? I'm just the guy who kept her warm. Hope is the warmest thing. Silence. The kind of silence that came after war. Not peace, but exhaustion. The kind where you listen hard, just to make sure the worst is finally over. Commander Jack Weller stood by the window of the Sparrow One, staring at the stars. They were headed to Earth now. A planet that hadn't changed, but he had. And so had she. Behind him, in the medbay, Lyra lay sleeping, peacefully this time. No glowing tattoos. No pulsing energy. Just a girl wrapped in warm blankets, dreaming whatever stars dream about when they've seen war. A soft voice broke the quiet. She asked for you. Jack turned. A medic pointed toward the doorway. She's awake. Inside, the lights were low, The hum of the ship was soft. Jack sat beside her. "Hey, Starlight." Lyra smiled faintly. "I don't feel like a star. I feel tired." "You've earned that," Jack said. "You folded a weapon out of existence and saved a rescue." "Ship," she looked at her hands. They were pale again. Human looking, no glow. "Is it gone?" She whispered. Jack tilted his head. "What?" "The power. The light, the dangerous part." He didn't answer at first. Then leaned forward. Double quotes. "No, I don't think it's gone. I think you're learning to hold it instead of letting it hold you." Her eyes filled with something strange. Hope. "And fear. I'm scared," she said. Jack nodded. "Good. Brave people usually are." A few hours later, they landed, not at a base, not a city, a secret Earth Command facility buried beneath. Arctic ice. Security was tight. Suits, scanners, glowing weapons. Jack stayed close to Lyra. When the brass entered the room, admirals, scientists, politicians, Jack saw the same look in their eyes that Raynor once had. Fear disguised as protocol. She stood beside Jack, quiet and still. Her hands didn't glow. Her feet didn't hover. She just looked like a lost girl holding onto her protector's sleeve. One of the admirals spoke first. "Lyra." "What are you?" She looked up. "Calm. Brave. I don't know. But I know what I'm not." The room went quiet. "I'm not your weapon." Jack smiled. The admiral cleared his throat. "We're not here to make weapons, Lyra. We want to help." Jack stepped forward. "No offense, but the last few people who said that tried to put a collar on her." There were murmurs. Another general leaned in. "Then what do you suggest, Commander?" Jack folded his arms. "She chooses." "Excuse me." Jack nodded toward Lyra. "She chooses what she wants. Where she wants to go. If she wants to stay, she stays. If she wants to leave, she leaves. And if she becomes unstable again?" Jack looked them straight in the eyes. "Then you can try to stop her. But good luck." Later that night, Jack sat with her under real stars. A rare clear sky. No base. No scientists. Just the two of them, wrapped in thermal blankets outside a small cabin far from the world. "You did good today," Jack said. Lyra stared up. "They still don't trust me. They're scared of what they don't understand." She turned to him. "Do you understand me?" He thought a moment. "No, but I trust you." She was quiet for a while. "Then, I remember something," she whispered. "Before the crash, before the cold." Jack looked over. "What do you remember?" A voice, soft, female. She said, "If you find warmth, follow it. It will take you home." Jack's throat tightened. "Your mother?" Maybe. She said, or maybe me, from before I was broken. In the following days, Lyra made her choice. She would not live in a lab. She would not return to the fold. And she would not become a god or a weapon. She would become a girl. With a name, a story, a life. She asked for Jack to stay. Earth Command resisted. But they owed him, and Jack? He didn't want to be anywhere else. 6 months later, the hollow beast had not returned. The vault was silent, and no other starburn appeared. But strange things began happening near deep space stations. Flickers of light that seemed alive. Messages written in code no machine could trace. A sound faint, musical, like a lullaby in starlight. Jack and Lyra stood on a grassy hill one night, watching the sky. "Think they'll come back?" he asked. She nodded. "Some already have, quietly, watching." "Will they be like you?" She shrugged. "Some will be kind. Some will be scared. Some might be angry. And what about you?" He asked, "Still scared?" She looked at him. "No," she said. "Not with you here." Jack smiled, eyes soft. "You're not a weapon, Lyra." She reached up, touched his hand. "I know." They sat in silence a while longer. Just a human and a not quite human. Watching stars most people never notice. At one point. She leaned her head against his shoulder. You gave me warmth, she said softly, when I had none. Jack's voice was almost a whisper. You gave me hope when I thought I had nothing left. She smiled, and above them, one single star pulsed, just a little brighter.